Hey, what's up everyone? Team Lynch, Spirit of Adventure, filming this on my iPhone, walking down some stairs, and it doesn't look all jittery. What am I using? Smooth 4 gimbals, check it out. Boom. Okay, so we got the Zhiyun, I don't know, I'm half Asian, but Vietnamese. I think this is Chinese. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it. But the Zhiyun Smooth 4 3-axis gimbal. And this is for use with my iPhone 11 Pro. You can get it for about $99 on Amazon. It has some of the most reviews, either written reviews or just star reviews that I've seen of any other gimbal out there, or most other gimbals out there. Just on the Amazon seller that I bought this from, there's like 4,500 reviews, and they're like 4.5 stars total on the aggregate. And the reason why I picked this gimbal was, one, because I'm making a ton of YouTube videos. I'm noticing that as I'm traveling around, just walking and stuff like that, it is jittery as heck, even when I have like different apps to help kind of stabilize my hands. And I mean, we've got vaccines coming out, people are getting them. States are lifting restrictions, countries are lifting restrictions, people hope to be able to go back out during the summer. So got this because of the reviews, because of the price, and because of some of the features that it had as well. The Smooth 4 had a lot of the features some others did, but then it seemed to combine a bunch of kind of, I don't know, splitting hairs on those features. So give me an example. So there's like 4 different types of time-lapse features on here. Time-lapse, a motion lapse, a hyperlapse, and a slow motion. And some of those are kind of combination, kind of different time lapse where you can kind of be smoothly walking and at normal pace, and then speed up really fast through like 30 minutes of kind of boring walks, and then slow down again and either go normal speed or slow motion. Just like really cool stuff like that. Also a lot of different ways to track that time lapse through a wide range, a triaxial, regular tracking, or a focus, which takes things and put them in and out of focus. During that, there's also object focus. So if you don't want to focus on a person, but instead like their backpack or a backpack as it's going between, or a ball going between certain people as they're playing a sport, you can do that and it'll track just that object. And then there's phone go mode for smooth transitions between scenes without a lot of fancy editing if you're doing this stuff on the go, which most people are going to be using this like while they're traveling out and about doing stuff or at events. So getting this version that I got from Amazon, a couple of different things came with it. One, it came in this case, which I have to admit, on the advertisement, it seemed like this was much better built. Like there's almost like a wood box it looked like, and then this was inside it. But I just got this inside of a cardboard box, and this is styrofoam, just so you know. But it is the case for it. Comes separate with this tripod that you can kind of put out like this, which I thought was really cool, and it can stay attached. Looks like it can anyway, stay attached full time to this gimbal. So the way this looks, and I have been able to charge it up, but I don't know if it still has any battery left in it. Nope, I'm gonna have to recharge it. But one thing I did notice was that a couple of things. It came with charging cord, obviously. This thing has a 12-hour battery life, and you're supposed to be able to hook your phone into it, obviously, for some of the features with the app that comes with this to help do some of those like hyperlapse features in conjunction with the gimbal, keeping everything steady while at the same time producing those kind of time-lapse effects. Using that app, you need to connect your phone to it using the cord, but it's supposed to also help charge your phone as well. Not sure on the amperage of that. I don't know if that takes away from the total 12-hour battery life of the gimbal. The user manual wasn't real specific on that, at least not where I could find. And in little things, it has a pretty decent weight. I'd say it's maybe ½ pound, something like that. You have some index, 2 different toggles here on your on your pointer finger. You have a reel here on the side, which is supposed to adjust some of those kind of variable effects and focus and things like that. You also have some buttons here, and so you have kind of 2 at the top, a menu, display. You have this wheel here in the middle, like a little flash or lightning bolt button in the middle. Record, which is also a little play, so it's like orange, I'm assuming it's an orange record button, but then there's a play symbol above it, and then an actual camera button, looks like a bullseye button, and then a power, and then kind of a mode selector switch. here. So I'm sure all that stuff's going to be kind of detailed in the manual. One thing I did notice was that there's some really nice kind of like badging on here, but this badging like immediately came off when I just took this out just to start filming the video. And it's sticky. It's on my finger, so it is kind of like basically the flat surface that it was supposed to mount to. I guess they didn't put enough glue or something, so it's just not kind of sticking in there. When you put it back into the case here, it kind of knocks off that deal, but it is the Smooth 4. Little charging port on the side. It does look like a USB-C charging. So we're going to put this on the charger. I'm going to take my dogs to the dog park. Actually, see how this looks too if we screw this in. I'm going to take the dogs to the dog park and let them out. Yesterday here in the Salt Lake Valley, we had a freak kind of winter storm come in. It was really, really cold. Oh, that's really nice. It's actually really sturdy. It's actually really sturdy. Oh, and there's little rubber feet on it too, so it's actually sturdy and it doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere. The weight of this gimbal actually holds it on this tripod really well, and it makes the feet actually get a lot of good traction. So yeah, I'm not messing around. It's got really good traction on here. Actually, that feels really high quality. So yeah, anyway, I give it a full review. Just check it out. All right, so I ended up taking my two dogs, Juno and Anook, down to a park within a mile or so of my house to kind of test out these different features and stuff on this gimbal. So let me show you first what it looks like if I were to run around with my dogs holding a camera without any gimbal at all. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on this gimbal, and there's actually two settings here that I'm going to use first. There's a pan follow, which is a little toggle switch above the power is what we're going to use. So we're going to pan follow first, and there's a lock follow. Apparently the pan follow allows you to still twist the handle like this, and it actually will allow the gimbal to move the camera left or right, but it keeps it stable up and down in the other two axes. And a lock follow means that it's just kind of locked on to something, whatever you're trying to focus on, and turning the handle like this won't make it go left or right. It'll literally just stay whatever you have it pointed on, but it's keeping it steady. So pan follow first, then I'm gonna do lock follow to try to see what the dogs are doing and see how that looks. So I'm gonna throw the ball. Let's see how this looks. I don't know, maybe I'll look ridiculous. Let's check it out. One thing to note about this video is that I am incredibly out of shape sprinting around with these dogs, but the second thing was that I noticed in the pan follow mode, because I was able to move my wrist left and right and actually move the angle of the camera, I found it to be a lot harder to control doing action shots like these. So that was pan follow mode. You see I'm way out of breath. I was actually running, sprinting, did it a bunch more times what I actually put on the film or in the video, but overall that's what it looks like. So now we're going to try locked follow mode, which means that the left right of my wrist will not make the camera turn. It's going to stay totally locked and solid. And when we see what that looks like, tossing the ball at the dogs. So right off the bat, lock follow mode is the mode you want to use doing these kind of action shots where you're running after your dogs, you're running after your kids at a sporting event, at your own sporting event, or you're hiking and you're carrying a pack and your steps are kind of jostling things. You definitely want to use this instead of pan follow. Pan follow with your wrist moving left and right can actually make the camera unstable and is best used when you're walking around kind of casually. Another thing to note about the special effects, slow mode, hyperlapse, I actually could not get those things to work with the dogs here in the park, and I could not get them to work at home. So I'm going to have to watch some more tutorial videos on the manufacturer's website to figure out how to actually make those things work, either in the app or downloading them and editing them after. Sorry everyone, so that was locked following mode instead of pan following. So the L versus the PF on my little toggle here. And and I'm using the bottom trigger. So the top one is like a phone go mode, which is supposed to be something where you can film with your phone and have transitions between phone scenes or the special effects scenes or the gimbal scenes and regular phone video. I haven't found a big difference in using the two different toggles. I found the phone go to be the same almost as hitting the bottom button, but it also might be because I'm not using all the features. So what I'm going to try to do next is actually use the phone, or the gimbal I should say, in some of the special effects modes like slow-mo, 180-degree pano, there's a 3x3 pano, and truthfully, I played around with the gimbal a little bit between the unboxing that I did earlier and now. It's been a couple days. Salt Lake, we had some really weird weather patterns. It wasn't sunny like this. It was really overcast and snowing for the last few days. So I didn't want to go outside and do this with the dog. So I played around inside and I couldn't get those pano modes or the slow-mo modes to work. So I'm going to try it out here, live action, see what it looks like. Let's try it. So I played around with it a little bit more and I think I got it finally figured out. So there's a couple different modes, a 180 pano, a 3x3 pano, some slow-mo, there's also like a vertigo filter, a couple other filters on there too. And when you're holding the gimbal, some of these actually, they don't work as advertised. Let me clarify what I mean by not working as advertised. You actually have to set it up on the tripod that comes built into the gimbal itself and kind of set it and let it do its thing. So let me show you how to do a 180 pano. That's what I've tried out and kind of mastered so far. Let me show you what that looks like if you're using this gimbal. So I have this set up right now, just kind of here. I went to another park. There's a little bit more construction and kind of tall buildings around where I was at, so I'm trying to get a more broad area. So I have right now, I hit menu on the gimbal. It brings up the menu on the phone. I hit 180-degree pano, and I'm just going to hit the button to take a photo, and it says perform panographic photography. Now the gimbal's doing it all itself. It's taking a picture, it's turning again, it's taking a picture, it's turning again, taking a picture. It's going to go all the way around. What confused me about trying to use this with my iPhone is that, as everyone knows, the iPhone already has a panographic photo setting on it. And so I thought I would hit that and then still have to do this, and some special effect filter would take effect, but in reality, it's the gimbal itself that does it. So what I'm going to try to do now is see what the difference is in the 180 pano and then the 3x3. So let's check that out. Okay, so now we're going to do the 3x3 pano, see what it does. Okay, this is cool. It took a picture. Another picture. Another picture. 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 And it kind of stitched them all together, it looks like, or at least it attempted to. So what just happened after it reset, it usually shows you in the bottom left corner, just like a regular iPhone, kind of a sample of the picture you just took. What I see is just sky. So I'm going to put that in a video, what this picture actually looks like, all put together when I download it from the phone. One thing to note here is that the photo actually was just a picture of the sky. While I did see the gimbal in the application take 9 photos, I guess that's the 3x3, the only one that came through was a picture of the sky. It was not in panographic form, which makes me think that the app is supposed to stitch them together, but for some reason it did not. Right from the app into the phone itself, but that's what that is. The other features on here, I'll be honest, I haven't understood how to use them quite yet. I did mess around with the zoom and the focus dial that's on the side. It's a big round dial that's on the side of the gimbal. I have messed around with that, showed what that looks like. It really takes it from the regular kind of zoom and optical zoom to a digital zoom. There's also the zoom in and out is more of a portrait versus a landscape, and that's really what the focus is. But other than that, like the vertigo and stuff, I haven't figured out how to use it yet. And the manual tells you about the features. It doesn't actually show you how to do it. So I want to do another video, part 2, once I kind of figure out the best way to kind of do those things. Obviously the 180 pano to 3x3 pano, pretty unique in how they look. And there are some other features on this, this gimbal in the app that are not in the manual that I have to figure out as well. Last thing to point out as I wrap up this review and kind of intro of this gimbal is that I do think that the footage, watching the dogs play, running around with them, it was very, very, very smooth compared to footage I've taken with my iPhone just walking around Crested Butte. I've done like Pursuit of Fall Colors where I'm walking around downtown Crested Butte or the main drag there, and I'm just holding my iPhone, and it is really, 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 really jumpy and kind of jittery. This was nowhere like that, and I was running and sprinting, and I'm out of shape too, so it was awful. Really good. But the app itself, it saves all of your pictures and videos onto the app. You have to review them on the app and then download them into your phone. So just be aware of that. That also means that you have to create an account with the app manufacturer to store everything, and that means, yes, it's storing it in the cloud. So until you download it from the app, or it's using your iPhone memory. I'm not real clear on that, which is something maybe to be aware of if you like privacy and things like that. It tells you it won't share things without your permission, but then it also doesn't tell you have to like store things on the app before you download them to your phone. Overall, the Smooth 4, I recommend it for anybody who wants to do any kind of videos, just take regular home movies like back in the day, hiking, have your footage look really, really good and smooth and crisp. Definitely get it. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment. Don't forget to check out my part 2 to the tour walkthrough of my van Bertha. 6 months in, like 15,000 miles. What have I learned? What do I regret? What would I change if I were to re-up and get another van in the future? I go through maybe 8 to 10 different things that I have observed about the van that I would like to change or probably will change in the future. So, till next time, I'll see you in the next video.